Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah, this can be some dude. Brock Purdy. What happened to that fella?
I don't know. I had the Vikings last night. That worked out.
Yeah, that was an ugly one. Dude, they did not look good at all. Now back to back weeks.
So I had the age old like I mean I know what I really wanted, but I had a showdown lineup last night that in the fourth quarter was solo first, but not in the middle. You're muted.
I
Um
wasn't I was you're good.
oh okay.
I was getting the old Alexa to light me up back there.
Yeah, that thing is pretty cool. I like how you do that with the I watch your showdown show and you've got the two teams.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. I
Yeah,
just
that is
started
pretty
doing that.
sick. That's
Somebody
fun.
gave me an idea for like when I do the betting show to just turn the TV off of the team I don't want.
Like dim them. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, although the past couple weeks you should just pick the opposite.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
Those showdown or those single game like Monday Thursdays, it's really tough sometimes. Those are just if I wasn't doing videos on them a lot of times, just wouldn't bet those games.
It's tough. It's tough. I've been fortunate to maneuver the island games, but it's tricky. It's no doubt about it. The NFL, baby. That's what we got.
Happy to have you guys with us. This is the showdown or the first look strategy show, our favorite of the week. And then after this, we're going straight into the podcast exclusive little 30-minute action there, right? Taking a look. We call it the single entry 3-max strategy show, but it's so much more than that. We might need a different name for it because we spend a lot of the show reviewing in the post contest sim and everything, like all of the builds that are winning from week to week, and it's been super valuable. I'm applying that knowledge every single week to what I'm doing the following week. Then we get into strategy for the upcoming week, but it might need a different name at this point.
It might. Yeah, because it's one of my favorite pieces of content that we do as well. If you haven't seen it, definitely make some time. Go for a nice walk, quick, easy episode. It's fascinating getting into the post contest sim, seeing what we can draw, what conclusions we can make, and it makes us better for the upcoming week.
Well, we're happy to have you guys with us. If you haven't done so yet, take 1 single second, hit that thumbs up, show us some love around here, atone for your sins early in the week. Subscribe to the channel too if you haven't done so. And like I said, we got stuff that goes onto our podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, whatever it is, that you can only find there. Really great content. I think you guys will love it and find it valuable. So head over to the podcast too if you want. Just a different way to listen, a different place with some exclusive stuff. Leave a rating and review. That stuff goes a long way for us. Basketball season starts today.
Yes.
So this is the overlap, man. This is the overlap. I don't care. We're grinding out. We'll be playing basketball, but because we got the new Sims tool as well. I cannot wait.
Even playing. I'm playing tonight, and I don't play a lot of NBA. I had to do it.
You're gonna use the Sims tool?
Yeah, I wanted to give myself a chance. Like if I was playing on my own, there would be literally no chance. But with the tools, I've seen them in action. I am excited to dabble tonight.
Me too. I like it even more for something like basketball because you don't have to worry about correlation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a time saver for me. Like I was saying before the show, there's Champions League. There's 16 NHL games tonight. There's greasy college football tonight. Game 7 is tonight. I don't have time to be like, you know what I'm going to do? Let me dive into NBA and immerse myself. Like I need tools to make my life easier.
And there's the late swap tool.
Yeah.
So you can
necessary.
Yeah. Dude, Bradley Beal's already not looking like he's going to play. Now Devin Booker, they're saying is 50-50 to play.
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah. Now Devin Booker's 50-50 to play. This could just be the Kevin Durant, Yusuf Nurkic show.
Well, okay.
By the way, I love Yusuf Nurkic. I just hope things can go well for him in Phoenix. Who knows? But I love that guy. Anyone that can go out, give you like 11, 11, and 11 with 5 blocks and 5 steals. You gotta have a spot in your heart for somebody like that. You know what I mean?
He's on the short list of people I wouldn't want genuinely angry at me.
Yeah.
He's a scary dude.
Well, his dad, Hari Nurkic, the old fabled tale that he took on 8 guys as a police officer, and where they from, like Bosnia or something.
Yeah,
not great.
He's a dude.
There's also the time where the ref stepped on Yusuf Nurkic's leg after he broke it underneath the basket. They never saw that guy again, by the way.
Of course not.
Yeah, never saw him again. Anyway, let's get into it, guys. We still got a lot of football to talk about. You know what? Maybe this is a better time of the year too, because a lot of people aren't going to do any research till like Sunday morning, Ben. And we're starting on a Tuesday. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's a good time of the year. Again, it's all about time and opportunity. So I'm excited to see what we can get. We'll do our recap. We'll do our goblins. We'll go through our tiers.
Well, let's do it. As you guys know, with the First Look show, we're taking a foundational look. Like, we've peaked at this, but we're going to break things down as we go. We also have Goblin of the Week. As you know, Ben likes to refer to people who, he doesn't think too highly of from an intelligence standpoint as goblins, or a performance standpoint. Am I wrong? Would you explain it differently?
No, I just wouldn't. It's better left unsaid.
The whole intelligence part?
Yeah, that part is implied. But yeah, no, it's just, it doesn't. Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see if that measures up, because my Goblin of the Week is not who you're gonna think.
Is it NFL? I hope so.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're not. It expands the concept of. You want me to just get right into it?
Yeah, and then we'll recap week 7. We'll go through every position, by the way, at the end. Go for it. Who do you have? Goblin of the Week. And we need to start recapping. We need to start a list, though. We need to. I'll have to go back so we can recap them at the end of the year.
Yeah. Well, this team's been on. See, this is where you may not like what I'm doing here, but you know what? That's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to the Goblin of the Week.
Are you going Ritter again?
It's the Atlanta Falcons. It's just the Falcons in general.
I knew you were going to go with that. You say I don't know. I knew you were going to do that.
Okay, fine. There you go. And they did nothing wrong. In fact, they did something right for themselves. And it's still them, because it's always something. First of all, they fuel the nuts on Twitter who think everything is rigged because they don't report the Bijan news, which is a legitimate concern. You can't have that. You have to. There's too much money going around for that. Then it's just like every other Atlanta game. I was on the Bucs, first of all. Every time I'm like, well, this is over. Ritter fumbles out of the back of the end zone. He does something else stupid. Like, Atlanta tried to lose the game multiple times. They were unable to lose the game. And I just come away from the game even more infuriated that this is a team that dropped the game in the dome against Washington. Like, what are we doing with this team? They frustrate me more and more every week. Everything about them is a Goblin situation.
They are potentially the biggest Goblin team in the league right now. Again,
far and away.
400 plus total yards, and they score 16 points. Go ahead.
Every week. And if I bet, I cannot get, there are certain teams. And again, it is just certain teams, no matter what I do with them. I knew the minute I clicked in Tampa, it was just going to be, and if I go back to Atlanta, they'll do the same thing, except they just won't win the game. They constantly, perpetually do shit that you don't see. Again, the Bijan situation, it's just like, what is that? How can you not report that?
It's insane. They're the one team I've gotten right almost every week this year. Outside of this week, I was on Tampa as well. They're the team that I've gotten right almost every week, but I've been lucky too. Like, they had 2 game-winning drives as time expired. I bet against them against, what was it, Detroit or something like that. But now, who the hell knows about this team? You're absolutely right. Now you get them going into Tampa to Tennessee again as 2.5-point favorites, no less, Ben, with Tannehill not expected to play.
When's the last time the Falcons weren't 2.5-point favorites in a game? Like 2020? Like, every week they
were decent dogs to the Lions.
Every spread is 2.5 points in a Falcons game.
Yeah, that's true.
Every game is the same. It's just
Houston
like,
was like 2 points. Yeah.
Washington was 2 points. They were 2.5-point dogs last week. Oh my God, that team frustrates me like no other.
You know what's crazy? The Dolphins on Sunday before, like Saturday night, I guess, or Sunday, the following week lines were this was at 13 plus 13. It moved through 10 as well at 9.5 against the Patriots to 9.5. Like, are we overreacting that much to that Mac Jones win?
I think so.
overreacting, right?
Overreacting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean people win at home. Again, I said it direct quote on our Sunday show. You asked me, do you think the Patriots are alive?
Yeah,
They
I know.
certainly have a shot, and I wouldn't put money on it, but it's at home divisional games. Like you win games.
Plus, the Bills have found more ways to shoot themselves in the foot than any other team this year.
Another
Am I
goblin
wrong? Like,
team.
constantly finding ways to lose football games. It's bad.
Can we move to the tiers? Because I want to talk about the Bills.
Yeah, let me give you my goblin real quick.
Oh, please. I'm sorry. Yeah, we had good choices in chat too. Amari Cooper, Cooper Kupp, the Browns. I get it. The Commanders, all very reasonable.
I just mentioned the Dolphins because it makes me feel like a sucker, but I want to smash -9.5 here.
Yeah. Good tease piece. Probably.
Coming off a bad loss on Sunday Night Football to the Eagles, back home in Miami against the New England team riding high after a big win despite having no talent.
I just did a Survivor video no more than 20 minutes ago, and I was talking extensively about Miami in it.
As the team you're going to?
I mean, I think there's obviously other issues with Survivor, but I just see no way that the Dolphins lose that game. I think maybe they come out.
Maybe a teaser piece, like a 7-point teaser, get them at -2.5.
That's what I'm saying. They're right. Yeah. Yep.
You could tease them. You could tease Baltimore at -8.5 down to like 1.5. Those might be, because Baltimore's facing the Cardinals this week. I could say Josh Dobbs is the goblin, but he's really not, because I knew going into that things could either go real well or they could go terribly. They didn't go well. He had 16 he did have the 43 yards and a rushing touchdown.
You got part of it.
I got part of it. They just couldn't throw the football, and they were pressured an insane amount. I hit the over on my Trey McBride prop, and look, I promise you guys, this is not by any stretch like a backtracking. It didn't work. It didn't work. Ritter worked the week before. It didn't work. But I still look at it. I'm like, all right, well, Trey McBride was clearly outpacing Zach Ertz in targets. Like, the pieces were there. They just are a bad football team. They just stink. I almost wanted to make Goblin of the Week the people that immediately commented after our deeper dive in Live Before Lock ended and commented on the video, came back to it to be like, you guys are idiots saying to fade Jerome Ford.
Oh, that's I should have thought of this. Go ahead, please.
Because it wasn't just, and like I said, the whole Dobbs thing didn't work out. I told you guys not to do it. I told you guys I was sacrificing myself, so you shouldn't do it. If you did, well, it's both of our faults. But you go back, we explicitly said, well, I think we like Foreman over Ford. Right? That was the conversation.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, go ahead. I got a lot to say on this. So
I'm just saying. First of all,
we said we liked
First of all, when Ford did score that touchdown in the opening drive, I immediately texted you and was like, I just got done some stuff, turned the games on, looked at the scores. Today was fun. I'll see you next week. And then he didn't do anything for the rest of the game. And Foreman went on to score 3 touchdowns, 30+ fantasy points, despite getting hurt.
Ford did actually, like, you just said this, but you mean it in this situation. He literally did nothing. He had 74 yards in the game, and he had a 69-yard touchdown.
Yep.
Cool.
I know. KJ said you guys got to stop reading those comments.
I don't read the comments. I can't. Unless it's a good video and normal people, I can't do the Goblin comments.
KJ, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
But I wasn't letting that one go, because this guy sent that right after the first touchdown from Ford. It was like 107.
Yeah, I wonder how that guy's week went.
Yeah, and then an hour and a half later, Dante Foreman's just running all over the Raiders. So you best believe that I was feeling vindictive. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Those the immediate post-victory lap of stuff with no context is always should be shamed and ridiculed at all turns. Nothing tilts me more than that. Like, it's the first quarter, the team's down 10-0, and it's like, I knew this was a horrible idea. Oh yeah, well then why didn't you bet the other side? Because if you knew that, you would really be dumb to listen to me if you knew the other team was the right spot.
Yeah.
End of rant. Can we go to these? I got a lot to say.
Didn't trash you, but played both Ford and Foreman. Feeling good. Cooper Kupp and Keenan Allen got me a combined 16. Yeah, dude. I wasn't saying. Look, it was like 2 people, by the way. There were
normal Ford people, but the Goblin Ford people, you know who you are.
The Goblins. Yeah, they were the Goblins. Not you guys. Not you guys. Look, Ford wasn't even bad. Ford was in one of the big winning lineups too. He wasn't bad. It's just to act like you needed him to win was patently false. But I thought it was. Look, I thought my day was over at 107.
I did
really
too.
did.
And then it turned out it was.
But yeah, me too. I had a horrible week.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm completely dead. And then by 2:30, I'm like, all right, I'm back. And then nope, should have just stuck with my original thought, completely cooked.
We'll get to tiers. Just one more thing. I had one lineup in the red zone. Maybe we can look at it in when we do the podcast exclusive. It was a single entry, and it had Foreman. It's like, all right, hell yeah. Kenneth Walker didn't start yet. Mike Evans just scored a long touchdown. I had Mark Andrews just scored 2 touchdowns. Like everything looked awesome. And Devonta Adams had 5 for 48 on what? Like the first drive or something? Devonta Adams finished with 5 for 57. So
he dropped the touchdown. He dropped an easy touchdown.
Oh, good God, on that fade?
Yeah, just catch it, man.
Oh, God, I saw it too. I'm like, they have to go to him here. Why are they not going to him in the red zone? They thought, I'm like, got it. Here we go. Just inexplicable.
Yeah, that hurt.
Either way, bad week. My worst week of the season. So far, I've been treading water nicely. Had some good weeks, had some bad weeks, but mostly kind of in between, which is what you hope for in the NFL until you hit something. Definitely. This week, I lost like 50%.
Oh, yeah, Showdown's been saving me somehow, so I'm in a real bizarro world.
Anyway, my goblin of the week. We'll get to tiers. My goblin of the week. It's got to be. It's got to be. I wanted to say Sam Howell because he's on pace for 97 sacks. I told you, dude. The Giants could go in with 5 sacks. You did mention that. Just be like top 10 in the league after that. Might be worse. Both might be worse than the Giants right now, as far as like a team going in and you just know that whatever. It's got to be the Chargers. This team is a perennial, unending, interminable, which means unending for those of you guys wondering. Disappointment. The Chargers. Embarrassment. I don't care if they face the Chiefs. It's an embarrassment, man. Every single week, every single season, this team finds ways to lose football games. Brandon Staley finds ways to look stupid. They're a goblin. They're a true goblin team, man. They really are.
Yeah, they're the Chargers. The thing that's dumb about the Chargers is the result is about what you thought it would be, but the way it happens is just insane. Like they just somehow stopped scoring in that Chiefs game. They got a bunch of stops when they needed to. They didn't put up anything in the second half. Yep. Like, how does that happen?
Yep. I know. It's terrible. Anyway. Let's do it. Week 7 recap quickly. Bills. Let's just go into the tiers. Let's go straight into the tiers. We've got them updated from last week. I think poor Singus. That would have been hilarious. I think there's going to be some movement here. I'm dropping the Bills down to playoff teams.
Definitely. The Bills are yes.
They're 4-3 right now. You were very wise. Last week, you said we can't move the Lions up yet. God, were you spot on about that?
Yeah. The Lions are fine. They belong they're a good team. They're not that good, though. We were both on the
Ravens, though, to win that game and cover. That was a spot that looked real good.
It did. And the Ravens also are a play. I honestly don't think you can move any of the 7 up.
Probably not. We also said that Lamar Jackson was our top option at the top tier on this slate, which looks good, except Patrick Mahomes played. And I was just so underweight there. That crushed me, dude.
Yeah, because when you go Lamar, you probably get to Andrews, which makes it harder to get to Kelsey, which just murders you.
So how about this? 3 in a row, guys. Saying move. No, 4. They're saying move.
Wow.
Look at that's. I'm not doing it quite yet. I'm not doing.
I love the Ravens too, but I'm not there.
It's one game, right? They're a good football team. It's tough. I saw something in 18 or in 17 career games against the NFC. Lamar Jackson 16-1 straight up. Think about that. That's
Ravens
crazy.
Are such a weird team.
It's crazy.
Do we
move the Niners down?
No.
No?
I don't think so. They're not healthy.
Yeah. So we keep those three, right? Eagles have to stay up there. They just added a good safety. Chiefs have to stay up there. Keep them? Keep them all?
I think right now, clearly, the Niners are the closest to being dropped and the Ravens are the closest to being moved up.
I want to move the Browns up to a playoff team. My concern is that eventually the lack of quarterbacking and the injuries there are gonna really burn them.
Yeah, Jacksonville to me should move up before the Browns. Jacksonville's going to win that division.
I need to fire a few teams into the sun. I think we're getting to the point where we're seeing some really bad football teams, and I'm going to tell you what I'm about to do, and you're not going to like it. I'm moving the Broncos up to no bueno.
Sure. Where are the Packers even on this tier?
What?
Oh yeah, the Packers. There they are.
I really don't think
the
Broncos defense is as bad as they were earlier in the year. I'm telling you, I think there were a lot of communication things there. I'm not saying they're elite like last year. I don't think they're so bad to the point where they're just going to get gutted every single game.
Yeah, they can move up. I mean, fire them into wow, how crazy is that? Fire them into the sun. They all won.
I know. So what do we do? And does Washington move down?
Oh yeah, Washington should be right directly into the sun.
Okay. Okay. So Washington goes down. The only reason I haven't moved Arizona all the way down yet is because they were expected to be terrible.
Arizona and Carolina, I don't think should be into the sun no matter what they do.
Right. Because it was expected. Giants, Patriots, Bears. Bears get the win, but I'm not moving them anywhere. You want to move them up?
I never thought the Bears were that bad. I've been, and I don't think that makes me necessarily right. I just never think that they're that bad.
Yeah.
No, I think it's pretty solid where we are. Honestly, I'll say this. This isn't even a hot take. The Titans are going to end up fire them into the sun by the end of the year.
Okay, Brandon Katz, get your dumb ass out of here, dude. No one wants to hear you.
Honestly, we should move the Falcons down even after a win. That's what we should do, but I'll let them stay.
We really should. They should be fired.
They need another category. They honestly almost belong in the Vikings category.
Do it. Do it.
Fine. Yeah, move them up, Jordan. Put the Falcons with the Chargers and the Vikings and the Raiders.
Do it.
I'm making a new rule, and this is a terrible rule, but I'm going to say it. If you land in the Vikings category, you can never go out. And by the end of the year, there's going to be like 10 teams in that. They're in purgatory. If you ever get in there, you can't escape no matter what you do.
All right. I love it. Let's keep it the way Marco said, how are the Raiders that high? They're not. That is a category reserved for teams that are
purgatory.
That are in purgatory. They're just like they're in purgatory. They're never going anywhere. They that's where they stay. They'll never move up to contenders. They'll never move up to playoff teams. That's where they are. And that's where they live.
They're the type, all those teams have the same thing in common. They'll beat a couple teams at the top. They'll lose to a couple teams at the bottom. And in the end of the year, they'll all be like 7 and 10 and just irrelevant.
Yep. Yeah, it's purgatory. It's the Vikings. Yep. All right, ready to talk running backs or quarterbacks for this slate?
Let's do it.
All right. So first up, the top tier is kind of beautiful this week. You have Mahomes against Denver, in Denver, Hurts, Lamar, Tua. You know, usually I'm willing to pay down, and maybe there's one or two options. I'm going to have a really, really difficult time not getting to a lot of Jalen Hurts against Washington. They cannot slow the deep ball down. They can't stop the deep ball. It's impossible. Go look at the Giants from last week. They had 5 different guys with 20+ yard receptions. 5. That's the Giants with Tyrod Taylor. And then Lamar against the Arizona Cardinals. Another NFC team, 8.5-point favorites. I just love those guys this week.
Yeah, I mean, this is a fascinating week. So many options at the top. Of course, Lamar is going to get a lot of love against Arizona. How could you not like that spot? I mean, seriously, how can you not like that? I know the pricing is coming up on some of these guys, but yeah, I'm all about that. It's the same story for me though. What first? Well, let me back up. Are you worried about Jalen Hurts?
The injury? No.
Okay, because
No.
I do think he'll be the lowest owned of the top.
If that's the case, I will happily get there.
Do you
Only
not think
six.
that?
What?
Do you not think that? I feel like coming off Lamar's super game, Mahomes' super game, Hurts has got a Q tag. People are like,
I
oh,
was
it's a knee.
I was thinking Mahomes would be the lowest owned.
I feel like after last week, people are just like, okay, I have to do that.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. It's possible. What if it's just flat ownership among these guys?
Then I'll play Lamar.
Yeah. I'm not too worried about Hurts though. He had that knee brace on the entire second half and made some phenomenal throws.
Yeah, phenomenal throws. He didn't really do much with his legs.
He hasn't been all season.
This is his least rushing yards in any game.
Was it?
I mean, again, 21, and he has a couple in the 30s, so it's not like a huge deal, but it's not nothing.
Could be concerning, yeah. Excuse me. A lot of that is made up. He had a 28. Yeah, a lot of that is made up for though with the brotherly shove. They just get down to the 1 yard line. It's an automatic touchdown for Jalen Hurts.
That is quite useful and definitely hurts Swift and helps Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tua could be low owned, and I'm not going to fault anybody for the get right spot there.
I like
Doesn't
Tua.
have rushing, but yeah.
I like all four of these guys. But if I were to give you the number one here, you're going Lamar, right?
Yep.
I'll go Hurts at the top tier.
Okay.
Because I think the Eagles are uniquely equipped to carve up this defense. I know that this was an overtime game, which doesn't bother me when they faced each other earlier in the season. But the more I look at this, like Washington has been incapable of making significant adjustments. They can't stop the pass. You have AJ Brown, who's got 125 plus receiving yards in 5 straight games. Devontae Smith is just a drop king lately, but he also, that he can rip off massive plays. They've just got guys in this offense that can open things up, and you could see a huge Hurts passing game here as well.
Listen, I'm not gonna fault you or anyone that goes to. I might get to a good amount. I just prefer Lamar. And then the mid tier to me, it's actually pretty bad. I don't really like a lot of these quarterbacks.
I hate
I got one guy that I like a lot.
Stroud?
No.
Lawrence?
No.
Hold on. Man, you say that with such disdain.
I don't know. I'm still not like, it's nothing he's done and it's probably justified. Like Stroud's the 7th most expensive quarterback. I was not ready to see that.
Me neither. So we're talking like 6 to 6,900.
Yep.
Is it Stafford against Dallas?
No.
Who is it?
It's Dak.
Oh.
I like Dak a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, at home in a good spot. The volume can be there. Quietly can give you some running at times. Easy pairings at every price point. Don't think it'll be popular. 6,100. Good tournament play this week for Dallas and for Dak.
I think Stroud's fine, especially if Tank Dell comes back. I truly hate this range though. Like I don't think I'll be living much in this range.
That's why I think all 4 up top could get some ownership.
Yeah, for sure. And as solid as Stroud has been, he hasn't exactly been dominant from a fantasy perspective. He's been good. He's been fine. He hasn't been great though. I tell you what, I honestly think Trevor Lawrence against Pittsburgh, that's a tough spot. Steelers 2.5, 3-point dogs in some spots in that game.
They're another anomaly team.
I feel like you just have to keep backing them as a short dog.
Yeah. The thing about Stroud that's fascinating, again, it's only a handful of games. I think the Texans might be a little too good, and it's hurting him a lot. I mean, he threw 44 and 47 times in double-digit losses. And since then, he's 30, 27 in wins.
True. It might be a Dameon Pierce spot. Yeah.
You need to hope they get blown out, and I don't see that happening in this matchup.
God, I might have to go with you. I might have to go with you on Dak here. As gross as that feels, I don't think it's a good range at all. At all.
No, it's pretty weak.
All right, we'll go Dak. Low tier gets even worse. I think there's only two options that you can even consider, and both of them are gross. Jordan Love against Minnesota.
Yep.
Would be one
That's
of
my
them.
pick.
My issue though is, how does he contend with this heavy blitz, the heavy blitz from Brian Flores? That pressure really got to Brock Purdy last night.
It did. And I kind of like that though for my quarterback.
I just meant with Jordan Love, he's already not good.
No, I know, but it's like to me that just might make him have a couple of mistakes, but I still think it gives you opportunities for gigantic plays down the field.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I just also, if you're not playing him, I'm not going to Carr. I'm not going to Minshew. I don't know who the Giants quarterback is. I guess you could just go back to Russell Wilson, but I don't really want to do that. And then
Chiefs defense is just too good right now. It scares
me. I'm not going to Sam Howell. I think you can always, to me, Joshua Dobbs will be perpetually in play because he does something that most pay down quarterbacks don't do, which is run. But I think
we've seen this week. I will be furious.
Yeah, I'd say it's less likely that he. If you gave me his last couple games and said what would be the least likely spot for him to really hit a ceiling, I would say it's this week
for sure.
But it's still, you never know with a guy like that.
You know what else is funny too is Seattle was a waste as well, for the most part.
Yeah, Smith and Jigbo was good, but
yeah, but he could have had a huge game. He had
Bobo from the clouds.
I know, but JSN had what 16 fantasy points in the first quarter and finished with 16 fantasy points.
It was everything about the afternoon slate was the most tilting thing for me of the entire week. Honestly, was MVS because I've played him on a couple of lineups basically all year. And with Hardman coming over, I was just like, just stop. Like, just don't do that. And then he
scores on a long touchdown.
Long touchdown.
I know. That afternoon slate, I should have just not watched any of it. That destroyed me. But all right. So the only other guy I did want to mention, you said you're not playing him. I have to throw Derek Carr out there. And
no. No. Absolutely not. I would rather play someone who's injured.
The only reason is because, like, Olave's coming off a 15 target game, Kamara a 14 target game, Michael Thomas is there, Rashid Shaheed. Indianapolis Colts defense is not very good right now. We saw a massive shootout there last game. That was a weird one for sure, but it's in a dome in Indy. It's so gross, but I don't think it's out of the question as much as you do.
Yeah, no, it's out of the question. First of all, he's thrown the ball 105 times in 2 games, 105 times. And that's great, but you can't get more volume. It's not possible. So he's already tapped into his volume. He is teetering on not finishing a game. I don't think it's a stretch at all if they're down double digits that he does not finish the game. They go to Taysom Hill, they go to Jameis, they go to somebody.
He's been terrible, man.
He has been so awful, and he knows it. That's the thing. I'm play psychologist for a second. Like, he's making horrible plays, and then he's just like, did you see the play where he threw it 30 yards out of bounds, and then he's screaming at Olave?
Yeah.
Like, what exactly did he do wrong? I would love to know.
He's also attempting 1 million deep balls and connecting on none of them.
Yeah, that doesn't seem. Again, the volume is there, but it's been there, and it's just terrible. Olave got arrested last night. I don't think that'll matter, but
for what?
Not something with driving. Not. I mean, I don't know. What do I know? Maybe that is very bad. I only saw the headline.
Doesn't seem good.
Not good, but it's not.
A reckless operation of motor vehicle. He should be fine.
Yeah. Oh, shocking. It's just what I said.
Well, you didn't tell me what it was. You're like, I don't.
Well,
think
I
that
didn't want to
matters.
like read, headlines. It's like, he got arrested for reckless driving, and then they found 6 bodies in the trunk, and I'm like, oh, it was no big deal. It's slap on the wrist, and then people take it out of context. So I don't know. It doesn't seem good, but I'm sure he'll be fine.
He was driving 70 and a 35.
Gotta watch out for those school zones, bro.
Whatever. He's fine.
Doesn't matter. Derek Carr is not.
Wild that they would book him for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what goes on.
Just saying, a stiff fine or whatever, but getting booked for that seems shocking to me. Anyway, I mean, who hasn't done 70 and a 35, right?
With 6 bodies in the trunk, or just that part?
Oh. All right, let's do our tiers. Who do you have top, middle, and low?
Yeah, Lamar, Dak, Jordan Love.
Lamar, Dak, Jordan Love.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Hurts, Dak. I have to go Jordan Love. I don't want to. It's a really bad range. Right? Is there anyone else? I'm not going Russell Wilson.
No, me neither. There's no one down there.
Yeah. All right. Running backs. Oh, by the way, guys, NBA season starts today.
Yes,
today. And then tomorrow you have a massive, massive slate. So here's the thing. All of our tools, Jordan, goddamn link's not even in here. All of our tools are 50% off. 20% off. Use the promo code TIPOFF. Well, they fucked me up, dude. Use the promo code TIPOFF. Get you 20% off everything. You want to go with the lineup generator? 20% off that for the entirety of the week. You want to go with the Sims tool? The Sims tool is nuts, by the way.
It is.
Absolutely nuts. Jordan, have them do me a favor. Get somebody to put the link in here. Because I'm telling people, it's like, oh, how do you take advantage? Oh, you can't. We'll have them put it in a second. 20% off. You click the link, it'll be in a second. Use the promo code TIPOFF. It's all one word. It's all caps. Whether you just want the lineup generator, that's like your best entry level tool. You won't find a better tool out there than the lineup generator. If you're someone that may be short on time or you're playing with a smaller bankroll, it's amazing. We showcase it all the time for NFL on this show. I remember MLB, we had just massive win after massive win from people that we were talking about every morning on the strategy show. And you have the Sims tool, whether it's the data package or max, depending on which one you want. Check it out. Every NBA tool is in that. You don't need any add-ons. You don't need to get Fantasy Cruncher to add on for that. Can if you want, but you don't need to. We have the contest generator, the Sims tool. It has the late swap tool as well. So if you need to swap, you just throw your lineups in, hit generate, hit sim, and it'll sim them all. It's awesome. Ownership, boom bust, player projections, everything you can think of. Premium Discord, all of it, 20% off. This is only going to be around for a couple of days. So if you want to get in early, you want to get that discount, check out the preeminent, the best NBA tools in the industry. This is one way to do it. So link should be in the description in a second. Jordan will throw, what's up? What? All right. And it'll be in chat as well. So make sure to check that out. Running backs. McCaffrey's the only guy up top, like really, really up top. I don't want to go to Barkley here at this price point. Also got banged up again.
Not against the Jets defense is on my no-go list right now. I really respect them.
They're really good.
Yeah.
We've been saying that a while. Raheem Mostert's the one that interests me the most. They had such a tough time running the football against the Eagles. I don't know why that would surprise anybody, right? Like, I mean, I bet the Eagles in that game. Scared me. Yeah, but it was the spot. Like when you see that the Eagles close at -3 and you go, man, Miami should destroy them. Really, your thinking should be, what am I not like? What am I missing here? You know, when a line doesn't look right to you, because I think most people would look at it and go, Miami should be a favorite here after that last game from the Eagles.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree. That is not. I don't think Miami. I have been on the other side of Miami for quite a while.
I'm talking if you're a public bettor, just
yeah, absolutely. That was just one of those spots to me at the top. So Mostert definitely makes a lot of sense. Pollard definitely makes a lot of sense. I think Derrick Henry is in the possible Megamind Genius play, or that game is just going to have so little opportunity that maybe he's just not a top tier running back anymore. I still tend to believe that there are opportunities for Derrick Henry, but I'll get right to it. Alvin Kamara is my number one running back. For everything you mentioned about Dusty Carr, he just has to throw it to Kamara because he has no other choice because they don't know what they're doing.
I know. At this point, you're talking about a guy that has seen 14 targets in 2 of his 4 games. It's ridiculous.
And they're running back targets.
I don't know how you get away from it. I really don't. I mean, you could because he hasn't been efficient. I mean, on the ground, he's been pretty rough. Does it really matter at this point?
No. Nope.
The volume's everything. Everything. And maybe you're not going to get 14 targets every game. That would be odd. Maybe you don't get Derek Carr throwing 100 times per game, but Alvin Kamara definitely stands out. What about ETN against Pittsburgh? I have some respect for this opportunistic Pittsburgh defense, but ETN, I mean, Tank Bigsby's an afterthought at this point. So just curious on your thoughts of guys like, just to throw him in this range outside of Kamara, because I do think Kamara is going to be chalky here. I really do, coming off that volume. What about the Mosterts, the Derrick Henrys against Atlanta, and the ETNs? They're all priced within a few hundred dollars of Kamara. Henry to me is kind of interesting here. What if Atlanta's defense or offense continues to shoot themselves in the foot and Derrick Henry just gets all of the work on the ground with a backup quarterback?
It is, again, I don't know what to make of the Titans in general. I think that Henry's interesting enough to consider for sure. I want to see that ownership. I'm not sure. ETN is a damn good player. Problems, one, he's running insanely well right now with touchdowns. He's got 2 touchdowns in 3 straight games. So of course it looks like he's been doing great. Prices come up, and I don't like the matchup against the Steelers front. So ETN's so good he's playable, but I have him behind Kamara, Pollard, Henry, and Mostert.
Yeah, if you're ranking these guys, is it Kamara, Mostert, Henry, or Kamara, Henry, Mostert?
It'll be ownership specific. I'm anticipating that it'll be a pretty big gap, and I would put Henry second. But if he's close to Mostert, if you told me they were the same, I would take Mostert straight up.
Okay. What if Kamara's ownership is way higher than that?
I don't care about that.
Really? Okay. Just volume.
It's hard to fail when you start with 2 touchdowns worth of points.
Do you envision yourself getting a lot of McCaffrey here? I think it could be tough with how bad quarterbacks are.
No, I don't. It's not anything that he did. I'm not sure I'll be able to do that.
I'll go Kamara up top with you in the top tier, but I'm very much intrigued by the ownership that we're going to see on Mostert and Derrick Henry. That can make a difference for me.
It will make a difference for me, just not in terms of Kamara.
Mid-tier, this might finally be the week that I go back to Aaron Jones. If we see, well, I said Sunday. I don't want any Green Bay. I don't want any Aaron Jones. I'm not convinced that a guy who hasn't gotten a full practice in, came back after missing 2 weeks, then didn't play the next game, then had a bye, then still didn't fully practice. I'm not convinced that he's going to be fine. Clearly, he's not fine yet. If he gets in full practices all week, well, let's say Thursday and Friday, Wednesday doesn't mean a thing. $6,400 Aaron Jones to me, very much in play. Swift at $6,300, still in play. He hasn't scored recently, but the volume is there. He's getting involved in the passing game. But this range is crazy. Jonathan Taylor, 6,200, coming off a nice game. Him and Zach Moss, though, both had 18 carries last game. Both of them had 18 carries. So it's not like Jonathan Taylor's just pulling away at this point, which isn't surprising. Why not give Zach Moss some work? Bijan Robinson opened the season at $8K. He is $6,000 now. And Breece Hall against the Giants is $5,900. This range to me is really, really interesting.
Breece Hall, I think, is definitely the best play, most obvious play, probably the most popular play. He would be my choice in this range. I think Jonathan Taylor and Bijan are the best tournament plays if you're looking to mix it up.
I think Aaron Jones is too, if he gets full practices in.
He's got to get full practices, though.
Well, that's the prerequisite.
Yeah,
That's why I didn't
I
touch
agree
him
with you.
last week. He has to. If he gets full practices, Aaron Jones at 6,400 is a great value.
So who's your preferred option in the mid tier?
I think it's sub 6K. It has to be Breece Hall,
I agree.
right? I like when you and I have differing opinions. I think we do though. It's just not on the top guys. I think we do have some differing opinions. I'll probably like Aaron Jones if he full practices more than you. But the last week, Jets were on a bye, week 7. But the last week they played, Breece Hall played 66% of snaps, led the team. That was against the Eagles. Really difficult matchup. Those fantasy numbers were inflated too. The Eagles let them score so they could get the ball back with time. But he was involved in the passing game. Dalvin Cook played 9 total snaps in that game to 43 total snaps from Breece Hall. Michael Carter played 13, more than Dalvin Cook. It's Breece Hall's backfield, and it should be. He's by far the most talented, the most efficient, the most effective. 5,900. I don't care if the total in this game is 39.5. That is egregiously underpriced.
No argument here.
DeAndre Swift will be interesting though, just seeing where ownership comes in on everybody. If he's like 4%.
I mean, I get it. He's him and Pacheco are just there.
Yeah, it's true.
I just like, and I'm not saying I'm ruling him out. I just want to see. This is why the tools are so important. If Bijan Robinson is 1% owned, I'm playing him. If he's 13% owned, I'm gonna have to seriously consider other options. Like it's one of those type of things because I have these guys graded out all pretty much the same.
For sure. What about Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah, I like him. I think people, and I'm guilty of this. Like, oh, you can't blame. He's in a timeshare. Well, if the share is gigantic, who cares? Like if you have a bell cow back who gets 20 carries because the team runs 22 times versus a guy who shares time and gets 20 carries because the team runs 40 times.
Yep.
What's the difference?
It's the same thing as people being like, man, this guy doesn't have a big target share. It's only 20%, but he's on a team that throws 48 times per game.
Yeah.
But being like, man, 30% target share leads the team. Yeah, they throw 25 times a game. Yeah. It's not the same thing. It's not apples to apples.
No, not to mention, again, you can never predict this stuff, but like Zach Moss could fumble. Zach Moss could get hurt. You have opportunities for 30 carries where these other teams, that's really not in their DNA, no matter what happens personnel-wise.
For sure. The low tier. How about this? Would you play Gus Edwards at 5,500 this week? He had
Probably
an 81-yard reception last week.
Yeah, it was like 30% of his career receiving yards.
On one target. Isn't that nuts?
I'd rather play Stevenson.
I have him listed as well.
Kareem Hunt, obviously, is going to be, I think, a pretty popular name.
With Ford not expected to play?
Yeah, and I get that. I think that Stevenson's an interesting... He's going to be a run back to Miami stacks, but I think he's an interesting pay down option.
For sure. Yeah, Kareem Hunt, I think Kareem Hunt's going to be very... I won't say very, but he's going to be popular. What's up?
Nothing. I'm sorry. I'm reading chat. Just people, man.
Wait, now you got which one?
What I don't even know. It's like the stuff where it's like everything's related to numbers. Like, oh, this guy, if you take his Scrabble letters, it's 9 and they're a 9-point favorite. So you bet the Falcons. It's like, wait, what? What Ben equals 21. Is that good? It sounds good. 21's a cool number.
I don't know.
Not on that level.
I don't know. But I do know that Edwards' lack of pass catching volume combined with Lamar's ability to run makes it difficult. I had a lot of best ball drafts with Edwards, just knowing Dobbins' injury history and stuff, but that was also, I'm getting him in the 19th round. Who cares? Yeah. At this point, you're paying $5,500 for him. That's a bit too much for me. Would you rather have Kareem Hunt or Dameon Pierce?
Kareem Hunt
against Carolina.
Kareem Hunt.
You would? Okay. Are there any other? So. I don't really have any other cheap options here.
No, we'll see what opens up. To me, I think Ramondre at 5,400, Ramondre Stevenson is a decent spot. He would be my preferred pay down option right now.
I guess I'll go to Kareem Hunt here then.
Yeah, that's right on the top of my board as well.
If Gus Edwards could average 4 targets per game, 3-4 targets per game, I would truly have him up there with all of these other guys.
That's fair.
He's the main guy in the backfield as far as touches go. It's just you're not banking on an 80-yard reception. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Any other running backs at all that you want to hit on here?
No.
All right. All right. Anyway, let's talk about wide receivers. Appreciate all you guys being with us too. I know it's NBA season now, but it's still football season. You should be here on a Tuesday morning. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't done so yet. Let's get to 100. Let's see what we can do here. What are we, 23 away, Ben? We got 300 people watch. 100, easy mark to make.
Yeah. Again, you got to go to numerology or whatever we're doing here. 23 likes away. LeBron playing tonight. Look at that. See the synergy? Does he even wear 23 anymore? Is he back to 6 or is he back to 23?
He's at 83 now.
Oh, yeah? LeBron pulled out the 83. I must have missed that.
Wide receiver. Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp up top, way up top. Is A.J. Brown too cheap? I feel like he's where he should be.
Yeah, I don't think he's. Yeah, my answer to that would be no. He's not too cheap. He's fairly priced.
But Tyreek Hill, 9,500. Cooper Kupp coming off a crazy low performance. Look, the Tomlin and company said we're gonna take Cooper Kupp out and make you beat us elsewhere. Puka Nacua ended up having a huge game receiving. Didn't find the end zone, but had a huge game. They certainly limited Cooper Kupp though to what, like 2 for 23 or something?
Yeah, I finally got the money to go get him. I swear to God, my over 9K plays this year have to be averaging like 13 points. Him and Jefferson have killed me when I've got there. Having said that, give me Tyreek Hill this week. I don't care if he's 10,000. Like he seems primed once again to give you so many raw points that he could just end the slate at any moment. We know this. I don't think New England can scheme him out no matter what they do.
It's going to be very difficult. Even against the Eagles, he dropped a touchdown, first of all. He would have had another one. You saw that, right?
Yeah, I watched the whole game. I needed Waddle to not take 2 quarters off.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill had that one that he kind of had it, then it went off his knee. He had a couple missed opportunities, uncharacteristic. So you're good. You're gonna do it. Just pay up for Tyreek Hill because he's that good.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay up for Tyreek.
I'll go Brown at the top. You're going Hill at the top.
Yeah, I'm going Tyreek at the top.
I still do love AJ Brown in this matchup, by the way. I would imagine you like him as well, but just Tyreek Hill over him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the guy's he's on a tear.
He faced Washington earlier this year, had 9 for 175 and 2 touchdowns on 13 targets. It's a good matchup. They can't stop deep balls. I'll go AJ Brown. Mid-tier. Jalen Waddle, Brandon Ayuk. I put an asterisk next to that because I don't know if Debo's going to play.
Mm-hmm.
Ayuk's price is up there. If Debo plays, I want nothing to do with a 7K Ayuk. Devontae Smith at 6,700 and Hurt stacks intrigues me very much. All right, Thielen at 6,600. That's getting up there, but he's been in the winning Millie 3 of 5 times that he's been on the main slate. The other 2 times, one he wasn't. That was week 2 or week 1, and the other week was week 6, and he was in the second place Millie lineup. Ridiculous. Chris Olave 15 targets last game. The problem is none of them, as you mentioned, none of them are catchable.
No.
Garrett Wilson, 6K. I like this for Garrett Wilson, actually. He's getting peppered with targets. Your boy Amari, Jordan Addison coming off a huge game, Zay Flowers against Arizona. This is a pretty sexy range for a couple of reasons.
I don't like it that much. Good,
no?
Some good tournament plays. I'm hoping, well, I shouldn't say this, famous last words. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, Let Thielen be like massive chalk here. I think there's good pivots, but then he'll just, if he puts up another 30 burger and he's very popular, I could have a serious problem. But I'm more drawn to the 5K range than the 6K range, to be honest.
Yeah, man, people, everyone in chat saying this has got to be Devonta Smith week. It could be. It really, I mean, look, and to someone just said he's the same as Jalen Reagor. No, come on, dude. Devonta Smith had 1,000 yards, a big year last year.
Checks out to me.
What?
Checks out for me.
No,
both just elite receivers. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. He's dropping some passes. The last 2 weeks have been pretty rough. Also, he's, squarely in the shadow of AJ Brown. AJ Brown's just a stud. But I don't know. I think Waddle in large field tournaments is viable. I think Devonta Smith in these tournaments, his price is coming down a little bit. I think he's still very viable. Olave, it's tough. You don't want to do it.
I don't.
You don't like Garrett Wilson at 6K though? They have nobody else on that team.
Yeah, I think Garrett Wilson is fine. I do worry though, again, that the Jets have a formula that's starting to work. And I understand part of that working formula is get Garrett Wilson the ball. But more than that, it's lean on your defense, lean on your running game, and don't screw up. And I worry about games where there are scenarios where they do just really limit how many passing attempts they have.
It's true. I do like Zay Flowers quite a bit, though.
Yeah, he's good. That game wasn't out of control. He could have had some good work.
It's funny. That game blowing out hurt me because Mark Andrews just wasn't utilized at all in the second half, basically.
Yeah, which I thought at the time, well, okay, him and Waller, that worked out perfectly.
It was exactly what you said on the 5K tight ends. The
slight issue. Travis Kelce didn't matter. It just didn't matter. I had the right idea. It just did not matter.
Most weeks, if you grab the 22 or the 24, whatever it was from Andrews and the 29 from Waller, I think it was, right? It was something like that. 27.
They both played very well.
Most weeks, if you grab that from 2 5K guys, maybe you're not winning everything, but you're positioned pretty nicely from a 10-game slate with totals that are all under 40. Right? Think about that. They're all low totals.
No, I know. Oh, I know. You don't have to tell me. I lived it.
You going back to Terry McLaurin? I was shocked that he had 15 fantasy points. The last I looked, it was midway through the third quarter, and he had like 0.
Washington doesn't understand much of anything. If we had coaching tiers, late in the game, they were just like, you know what we should do? Give McLaurin the ball. And they nearly came back. He finished with 9 targets. I'm fine with it. It wasn't the game I was looking for, but Terry McLaurin was not the problem. And I truly thought that was about as bad as it could go. Him and Sutton, I'm going to put Sutton as my favorite mid-range play. I like him again. I know the targets haven't been there, but he's scoring. They look for him in the red zone. And yes, Kansas City's defense is good, but I think that Sutton's going to have to be busy when they fall behind here.
Yeah. You're a Sutton guy? Come on, man. You're telling me you won't play some of these other guys, but you'll play Cortland Sutton?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
That's preposterous.
I mean, who I would play him before I played. I mean, it's really just Chris Olave, who I love Chris Olave. I just don't respect what they're doing down there.
The issue I have with Sutton is this offense is so spread out. Like, yeah, he's a solid game. The last 2 weeks, he was fine, but 6 and 6 targets, and he scored in both of them. He's scored in 5 of 7 games this year,
I know,
which is good, but also wildly unsustainable on a team that scores 18 points a game. That's my concern.
Very legitimate. I mentioned that with ETN. I just look and I feel like somehow Denver quietly hangs in a lot of these games. And I know they already played Kansas City. I still think that this is an opportunity, though, for them where they're going to be forced to really come out of their shell a little bit. And I will call for Sutton to have. Let me see. Before I say something crazy, he will have his second or best targets he will have more than 7 targets in this game. I'll say that. He's had 7 or less in every game except 1.
All right. So just doubling down here.
Sutton will be more active in this game. Yes.
All right. I can appreciate that. By the way, chat's acting like I don't like Cortland. You know, I'm
No,
a
you
Cortland
don't.
Sutton.
A noted Cortland Sutton hater.
That's not true. You know, I've loved this guy ever since he came into the league, but
He's good.
it just sucks that you're talking about 6 targets every week, 5, 6 targets. That's
You won't be talking about that next week. You'll be saying, man, he got 9 targets and he had 9 touchdowns. How crazy was that? Unsustainable.
I'd rather have Nico Collins over Sutton.
No.
I'd rather have God. How much is Sutton?
5,300.
Would you rather have him over Drake London?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like all these guys for what it's worth, but yeah.
What about Deontay Johnson at 5K?
Yeah. He's another guy. Talk about a guy who only has 6 targets. He actually only has 6 targets in every game.
Let me ask you about a couple sub 5K guys. Because I think Rashid Shaheed's playable again. I know where you'll stand on that, but he's 3,900.
So your lineups, just for the record, we've got Derek Carr, Kamara, Olave, and Shaheed so far.
I don't think I don't, okay. Well, I didn't mention Michael Thomas yet.
4,900. Very nice. And then you pair it with Taysom Hill.
Rashid Shaheed was in the winning Millie 2 weeks ago.
Well, we're not going to be in the winning Millie twice. You already did that.
Oh, that's how it works?
Yeah, that's how it works. Once you're in there.
Saying the same thing about Adam Thielen after week 3, right?
I'll be saying it after week 8. There's no way he can keep this going.
No, I don't know, man. He's just sub 4K. They're using, if nothing else. And by the way, I don't love Chris. I would rather play Garrett Wilson over Chris Olave. I'd rather play Devontae. Like, I'm just saying, I think Olave's in play on volume alone, because eventually even Derek Carr is going to connect on a couple of. That's kind of what it comes down to. It's bad. You're going to say no, he never will.
No,
maybe maybe you're right, but I think eventually he'll connect on something. And if you get a double-digit target game from Olave in a potential, in a home or in a dome, I don't hate it. I would rather play Shaheed than Michael Thomas. I would rather just take the $3,900, the $1,000 savings. I think among all of the pass catchers, I'd rather play Rashid Shaheed over Olave or Thomas because he's super cheap. And look, I know he didn't play a great game, but he played 70% of snaps, 76% of snaps the week before that. The guy is legitimately involved. The team stinks offensively, but he gets some opportunities once in a while on the ground. He's had 3 rushing attempts, not anything significant. But come on, 14 targets over the last 2 games, 3 rushing attempts at 3,900. You could do a lot worse than that sub 4K.
Yeah, I do agree with that. He's down there. There's a couple of punt plays. Again, probably some stack attachments. You've got Shaheed. You've got, I guess, Juwan Jennings. He was more busy than I thought last night. Just having watched that showdown game. He had 9 targets in that game. Of course, it's contingent on Debo not playing. I think we know that. And then for me, this guy has killed me time and time again this year. He had 10 targets in the last time against the Chargers, 3 catches for 24 yards. Michael Gallup's 3,400. And I still believe he has home run upside because his targets are down the field. And if he can connect on a couple, he could get you there with Dak.
Okay. So that's your favorite low price guy?
I mean, again, it has to match up. And that's why make sure you guys check out our podcast. It has to match with what you're playing. If you're in a small field, not sure you need to be so aggressive with a guy that's his floor is 0. Shaheed or someone will be more involved. But if you told me that Michael Gallup is going to be in large field tournaments viable, I would absolutely agree.
I like it. Will McNeil, by the way, said, if I had any faith in Carr, I'd stack this up. Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely.
Me too.
But also, if we had any faith in Carr, I don't think Alvin Kamara would be our number 1 mid-range or high-end running back this week.
That's right.
Right? There's no way.
There's a higher chance to me that Derek Carr doesn't throw the ball 50 times than he does something useful.
Would you be stacking the Saints if Jameis Winston was starting?
Yes.
You would?
And I'd be running the defense against him, but yes.
Yeah. I'm going Rashid Shaheed.
How could you not?
I'm going Shaheed here, though. I still think 3,900, given his involvement, is enough. They use him in unique ways. They use him all over the place. That's a good spot. That's a good spot.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick with Shaheed here. Hey, Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick Bourne had another nice game, dude. I don't think he's a terrible play. They got nobody else. You don't have to love it. I get that. But it might just be a spot where people go, oh, Josh Downs, big game from Downs. He's 4,900. Kendrick Bourne is clearly the top option. He's not that bad, actually. He's actually not that bad.
He's not.
What did he have? 17? I talked about him last week. A decent.
You did bring him up, and he was actually a really nice piece. I just worry. Everything you said about Sutton, I think, is applicable to him.
Totally fair. Totally fair. Yeah. All right. So your top is Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
Your middle guy. Who was the middle guy?
Sutton.
He's not middle. Oh, okay. You want to go Sutton, and then real cheap, you're going to go down to who
Gallup.
was it? Michael Gallup. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I firmly acknowledge, of course, if you're going more balanced, your mid-range guy could be like Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
And that's totally fair. And your pay down option could be like Bourne, and that's totally fair.
For sure. Give me so AJ Brown. Man, that mid-tier is tough.
Because I paid up for Tyreek. So I tried to do it like your first guy is way cheaper than mine. So your mid guy, live a little, land in the sixes.
I will. I'll go with Garrett Wilson. I think that's still too cheap.
Just type in Olave, Jordan.
No, don't do it. Actually, no. I want Zay Flowers at 5,600. I really like that this week.
That's a good one.
And I think ownership is going to be not down on him, but seeing what it was last week that he disappointed. Wouldn't be surprised if people are like, yeah, all right, well, that experiment's over. All right.
Okay.
You ready to get some tight ends and defense before we get out of here?
Yeah, let's do it.
By the way, guys, just got word that parts of this offer are going away. If you're not in one of these 6 states, apologies. It doesn't apply to you. Although Bet365 is going live, I believe, in a couple states soon, right?
That's the rumor.
That's the rumor. A couple new states popping up, which is going to be huge. Because they're going to do the bet $1, bet $1, get $365.
Like they have for Kentucky.
Yeah, it's the best offer. It's the best offer out there right now. I can't say in the world, unless Ben knows what sports betting promos they have in Eritrea right now.
I don't, but I should.
Is it Eritrea or Eritrea?
I call it Eritrea, but what the hell do I know?
Yeah, they're not going to tell you.
They're not going to tell me.
I wonder
if anyone in chat been to Eritrea? Let us know.
If they have been, they're not in chat. They never came home.
That's possible.
It's basically the lesser talked about North Korea.
Okay.
Right?
Maybe. I don't know. What do you mean, right? I've never been there.
I mean,
what is the capital? I know the capital. Yeah, that's true.
But they're pure isolationists.
Well, Asmara. Go to Asmara and report back.
Is that the capital? Yeah. They have one TV station. It's just straight state run. Sure. North Korea is pretty advanced, though. That's the difference.
Well, I'll tell you what. When we look at the numbers and we see the number of people that took advantage of this bet 5, get 150, and they say, man, Lofty, you had a ton of people sign up. What did you mention during that read? You let the people know that Eritrea is the secret to getting those bets.
If you live in Eritrea, North Korea, Burundi, no, if you live in Colorado, New Jersey, Virginia, Ohio, Iowa, you bet 5, you get $150. If you live in Kentucky, you bet $1, you get $365. See, Kentucky, good things happen to you as well. All you do is click the link in the description or in chat. That's it. Okay. Click the link in the description or in chat. It takes you 2 minutes to sign up, deposit, verify yourself. Legitimately takes that long. You're making $100+ or if you're in Kentucky, hundreds of dollars in just a couple of minutes. You sign up, you deposit $10. That's it. You don't have to bet all of that. If you're in New Jersey, Virginia, Ohio, Iowa, or Colorado, you bet 5 of that 10, you get $150. Whether you win or lose does not matter. It's irrelevant. So you want to put it on a parlay this week? You want to do a solid underdog round robin? Go for it. Huge, whatever. If you're in Kentucky, bet $1 of that $10 deposit. Massive 20-leg parlay. No, really, do something crazy. That is not financial advice, but it's $1. You're getting $365. It's that simple, guys. It's that simple. You're getting odds on multiple sports books now. Brandon Powell was targeted. By the way, link in the description and in chat. Amazing opportunity if you're in one of those 6 states. Take advantage of it. They're going to get rid of this one soon, without question. So link down there. You know how to do it. Takes a couple minutes. Just a bunch of free money. $150, $365 in your pocket that you didn't have before. Must be 21 years or older to gamble. If you or someone has a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER, 18 plus in Kentucky. It's funny though, dude. The Brandon Powell, he was targeted in the end zone yesterday. Okay. Targeted in the end zone. His touchdown prop. This is why I'm always saying, hey, the free money on these books is great. Take free money when it's given to you anywhere else in the world. If someone offers you 150 for $5 or 365 for $1, you're going to take it. Why not do it here? That's the best. But being able to get on multiple books with different odds, when you looked at the Brandon Powell props, it was plus 600 anytime touchdown score on FanDuel, plus 265 on Caesars. On other books, I saw it at plus 235. If you bet $100, you'd win 600 or you'd win 265. That's insane to me. The amount of money you leave on the table on touchdown props, especially when they're not going to hit that often. So when you do hit, you want to make sure that you're making as much money as possible.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I bet that exact prop yesterday.
Yeah, because it was you kind of have to in that situation.
Yeah. Shout out to Odd Chopper, but yeah, it was.
I bet it too. He had an end zone target.
Oh, I know. Believe me. I could have saved you some money once I bet things like that. Anyway, what do we got for the tight ends? All of the big names are here.
The tiers are whack because Travis Kelce's too high. Can we just include anyone like the trio from Hawkinson, Andrews, and Kelce in the top tier?
Sure.
All right. It's Andrews for me. It's going to be
Andrews for me as well. He's just great matchup, and he's so good.
I love Travis Kelce, but he's 80. Oh, God. Last week, it's like, oh, he's 8K. Tough spot. Goes insane. Did Brandon Staley and company think it was a wise idea to be like, look, we'll just let Kelce beat us?
So I'm the furthest thing from truly, like, never coached football a day in my life. I don't really probably understand the intricacies, but I don't want to hear.
Me too, by the way.
But I just, what I don't understand, if you tell me, like, I don't care what happens, we're not letting this guy beat us. I don't care. There are ways to do that. You may sacrifice a lot of points, and Pacheco might have 300 yards and Sky Moore might have 30 catches, but you can't tell me that you're scheming to take a guy away and let him have, he almost broke the record for tight end yards. That doesn't make any sense to me.
The overall thought process of like, all right, well, we can't let Marquez Valdez, which is hilarious because MVS still had a long touchdown.
He still beat him over the top, but
still, you do you sell out to take away Kelce, and then you hope that Kadarius Toney makes mistakes, right? Like you hope a rookie Rashee Rice makes mistakes. You hope that Sky Moore continues to stink. That's what it is, right?
Or don't. But I don't want to hear like, you know what? We are taking Kelce out of the game. No, you're not, obviously, because if you were, you should have literally bracket coverage on him to the point where it's glaringly obvious that there are other people open. And Kelce was running wild in that game. But
wouldn't you rather lose that way?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. Goblin of the week, Chargers is.
Hey, Matt Riley, good shit.
It's what's up?
Nothing. Matt Riley, member of the team, won a $5 single entry Chiefs game. He's been rolling. Nice, he had a good UFC week too.
Nice. Congrats, Matt. Member for 27 months. We appreciate you, man. Yeah, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Dumb.
By the way, tell me how to pronounce this ridiculous name, dude. The EWWEE. I like this guy. I just can never pronounce his name. So tell me in chat how to pronounce that.
Ooey.
He said, not doubting Kelsey anymore. Think he might be fully healthy for the first time this year. He's a wide. That's a good point. He could actually be healthy because he's been dealing with that ankle for a while. Chargers are also just morons. But Travis
Yes, that's
Kelce,
what I'm getting at.
yeah. Like
Morons.
it's a combination of both. Travis Kelce's fantastic. Man, you know what? The good thing about not hand building every lineup is it always sucks to hand build with Kelce in there because of what the rest of you just, it feels weird, right? But it doesn't matter because he's a top tier receiver with multi-touchdown upside. If you wanted to go Kelce as your number one guy up top, totally get it. Mark Andrews, though, I really like him here. I'm a little sour on TJ Hawkinson, just given that without Jefferson, he's been pedestrian at best.
I thought he got seriously injured last night, and he didn't. He came back.
Up on him.
Yeah, which was good to see. Obviously, I'm fine with Hawkinson. I prefer Andrews. Nothing.
I was gonna say though, it's like those videos where you see somebody narrowly escape, a boulder rolling down a hill where it just kind of nicks them, or like they just get out of the way from a car and it nicks the sole of their shoes. If you go back and watch that, it could have been 1,000 times worse for Hawkinson. Like they slow-moed it where his foot's coming up and the body is just right here, about to roll over, completely just snap his ankle, and he escaped it.
Lucky.
It could have been way worse. By the way, did you ever see the video of that wasn't a mudslide? What's it called? Honestly, like, what is the term for rocks all falling down a
rock slide? Is
it actually called a rock slide though?
Yeah.
But they're not
avalanche of rocks.
They're not sliding. They're rolling.
It's not rock and roll. I can promise you that.
Ooh.
Like, it's just not. It's a rock slide. Landslide?
It should. What?
Landslide?
No, because I feel like a landslide is when maybe it's all. I'm sure there's the rocks are included in a landslide, but a landslide is where the earth is coming down.
Just like dirt.
Yeah. Or yeah.
Rocks falling term. A rock fall.
Told you.
What did I say?
You said a rock slide. Rock roll is probably what it should be.
Rock fall.
Anyway, if you've never seen that one in India, it's the most insane video ever. Where the rocks are coming down and just taking bridges out, going through buildings. Rock flow, maybe. I'm gonna have to find this video and show you guys, because one of the most insane viral videos I've ever seen. It's not particularly new. I'm surprised you haven't seen it.
Maybe I have. I don't know. I'm getting told all sorts of things that I may or may not have done in my past lately.
Give me Mark Andrews. Mid-tier. Feel like I have to go Dallas Goedert here.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good attachment if you like Hurts. So, and it's pretty weak. It would be him. I've been really impressed with Dalton Schultz, but 3 straight games with a touchdown. He's living really well. I still think he's part of a very interesting Houston passing attack. We'll see who's in and who's out. I don't like the mid-range. I'm either going to get Andrews or one of the big guys, or I'm going to punt.
Okay. All right. Yeah. The only concern I have with somebody like Evan Ingram at this point, and it's crazy to me, how does he still not have a red zone target?
And the Jaguars are a weird team, man.
Still doesn't have a red zone target. I like him because the volume's there. He just doesn't have red zone targets, and that sucks, right? Like, you need him to score eventually.
All those guys. Yeah, like Ferguson, I think, is fine if you like Dak, which I do. So there are playable names.
What about the low? Yeah, well, the low tier, if I'm going sub 4K, Schultz, Pitts, Ferguson, Musgrave, Logan Thomas. I'm not going back to McBride here, but he's squarely on my radar going forward. He has to.
I might go to him. I think he's fine.
Yeah. Look, out of the gate, Dobbs targeted him like 3 of his first 5 targets. He was getting looks. Did you see the hurdle by Trey McBride?
I did. It didn't really work, but it was fine.
But he's athletic. He's just
very athletic.
a much better option than Zach Ertz at this point. So I probably don't go there this week. Ferguson, if I like Musgrave, if he plays, the guy's constantly injured. Logan Thomas, maybe 3,400.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite sub 4K?
Sub 4K.
You mentioned who? Schultz for who did you mention a second ago?
Yeah.
All right. So like cheap though. Who's your favorite guy? Real cheap.
It would be McBride.
It would?
He's so cheap, but like that you are allowed to do a lot if you go to sub 3K tight end.
It is true. I'll go Logan Thomas.
Okay.
I'll go Logan Thomas. All right. Let's wrap. By the way, 111 likes. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, Brian said Waller a no-go for me against the Jets. I'm with you. Waller was in a good spot last week. We capitalized. I think I might cash out on that one. You going to Waller?
Probably. I mean, again, I really respect the Jets defense, so probably not.
Favorite defense under 3K. Is it the Steelers? Because I think they'll be chalky.
Falcons,
No. I think will get some love with no Tannehill.
It would be Green Bay.
Yeah, against Minnesota.
Green Bay or Washington.
Hey, if Trent, here's a question I have for you, and I think this is a great way to end the show because you may see this differently. What if Debo and Trent Williams are out again next week? Would you go since Cincinnati's 2,200?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think you can really I mean, I just said Washington, so like those are elite punt defenses. Like, you know, you can get into trouble there. Problem I have with the Niners is Purdy, for the most part, really does a good job of not doing anything stupid.
Except last night, he did a couple stupid things.
But they lost. Like when he's forced to do stuff, he does stupid stuff. I've seen him a lot in college, but if he doesn't, I don't think they're going to lose to Cincinnati.
Hey guys, you got a deeper dive tonight for NBA. You got live before lock. It's back, man. It's back. Everything is back. Appreciate you hanging out as always. Like I said, all of our, whatever NBA package you want, it doesn't matter whether it's the full package, like everything, or just a lineup generator, any of it, 20% off of everything. That's going to disappear quickly. I think we're only doing that for the first week or so. Link is in the description and in chat now if you wanted to jump on that. So you see anytime or any subscription, use the link. Tip off is the promo code. All of that stuff down there. If you're looking for our subs for NFL, that's down there as well. Lineup generator, Sims package, whatever you're looking to do. You want to check our tools out. No better time than now heading into this part of the season. Appreciate you hanging out as always, guys. We'll catch you back here for the next one. We're going to go record the podcast exclusive, our favorite one of the week. Come join us there. It'll be up in like an hour or so. Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever it is. Peace.